Hello and welcome everyone to the broadcast today. I'm transmitting live from live. Yeah, right. Transmitting from San Juan, Puerto Rico. We'll be departing on Delta Airlines flight 2018 non-stop service to the city of Orlando, Florida. You can follow along actually on map.backsim.net, and I'm streaming live over there. Well, the flight data is going out there. So you have joined just as we have started our APU. We'll be departing again momentarily. Um, just a few things. About 2 hours 46 minutes of flight time, and we hope that you enjoyed the broadcast. So welcome aboard. Okay, so the APU is on at this point. It's available. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna activate the APU bleed and disconnect the external power. Looks correct. And what we're gonna do before departure, set the cabin temperature. Have a particular friend of mine that does happen to watch the channel from time to time that is very particular about the cabin being, a little bit more comfortable. So he always reminds me of setting the proper temperature. Uh, but with that said, yep, we're good to go. Everything is loaded up. Again, 2 hours, 46 minutes to Orlando. We're departing via the Acme 3 departure. And again, I'm just using a different button, so that's why we're seeing the behavior of the screen that way to do the push to talk. I need to find another button for this. So if anybody has any ideas which button to suggest, I'm all ears. So I think that we're almost ready to go. So in a few minutes, I'll call San Juan and get ready for departure. I just need to set the takeoff performance data. So if you bear with me for a few minutes, I'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so I set 5,000 for the Acme 3 departure. Okay, T minus 4 minutes for departure. Let's go ahead and start setting the aircraft for push and start. Yep, bridge disconnected. Let's get ready to push back truck. So this broadcast is just gonna last up until we get to the Sapo transition, or maybe slightly before that. Don't want to keep you guys going for long, but then after that, once we start prepping for our arrival into Orlando, I'll retransmit.
flight level 3010 intercept departure. Departure is offline, squawk 6767.
And there's the audio, so hopefully you guys can hear it now.
6762.
Roger that, steering 206, squawk 6762.
It was 2806, read correct information. Alpha is correct.
Okay, I missed that.
Push and start, expect runway 801 for departure.
We can expect runway 801 for departure, and we have Alpha on board. Spirit range 2806 will push out, we'll call you ready for push and start. Good day.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're about to push back, so I turn on the beacon light on, and I'm just gonna go ahead and shut down the wing light. I don't need it anymore for now. And let's go ahead and hit the clock here. Timer is running, and parking brake is released. And let's go ahead and get ready to go for push and start. San Juan Tower, Delta 2018 Heavy at Gate Bravo 1 with information Alpha, ready for push and start.
Delta 2018 Heavy, thank you for Alpha. Push on November is approved. Tail facing south, advise ready for taxi.
Push into November, tail facing south, and advise when ready to taxi, Delta 2018 Heavy. And ground crew, please push aircraft tail facing south. Thank you. And this will be the moment that they would do the disconnection as appropriate, so I'm just pretending at this point. Okay, let's go ahead and start the engine. Okay, ignition switch on and starting engine number 2. Engine number 1 is stabilized, starting engine number 1. Correction, engine number 2 stabilized, starting 2. And engine number 1. Okay, I'm asking the tug to disconnect, that way we can start going. Engine number 1 is stabilized. Engine mode selector normal. APU bleed off. APU master off. After start checklist, anti as required, off. Ecam status, Ecam status check. Pitch trim, down 1.5. Down 1.5 check. Rudder trim. Check 0, reset. Okay, flight control check. Full left, neutral. Full right, neutral. Full up, neutral. Full down, neutral. Rudder left, check. Neutral. Rudder right, check. Neutral. Controls check complete. Flaps. Flaps 2. And flaps 2 check. Predicted wind shear. Auto check. Engine mode selector. Normal. Ecam memo. Auto brakes max. Spoilers. ARM. TO config. Tested. San Juan Tower Delta 2018 Heavy, ready for taxi.
Delta 2018 Heavy, runway 8 at Sierra 1, taxi via November, Sierra.
Runway 8 via taxiway November Sierra, and Sierra 1 departure, intersection departure for Delta 2018 Heavy. Let's get going. Ecam memo, Ecam takeoff memo, takeoff, no blue. Okay, so this will be a left seat takeoff from runway 801 intersection. We'll climb via the Akoni 3 departure. Set top altitude is 5,000. Initial heading will be heading 350 until further advised by ATC. And any questions? No questions. Okay. Takeoff runway verified. TCAS. I missed my squawk code. So now it's there.
2018 on departure, fly heading 350, wind 030 at 6, runway 8 at 01, you're clear for takeoff.
On departure, flight heading 350, clear for takeoff, runway 801 intersection departure, Delta 2018 Heavy. Okay, so here we go. Strobes on, wing light on, nose light to takeoff, and landing light on. Check. Checklist complete. And 01 is there. Okay. Giving a little bit of power and making the turn. Runway verified. Eight on the compass, 8 on the ground, and 8 on the heading. Takeoff. Takeoff, Manflex, SIS, and runway, auto thrust blue. Airspeed is alive. Thrust set. 100 knots. Approaching B1. B1, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Okay, starting turn to heading 350.
Delta 2018 Heavy, no further ETC is available. You can resume on navigation over the Unicom during your flight.
Change to Unicom, resume on navigation, Delta 2018 Heavy. Thank you for the service.
Thank you.
Climb thrust set. Speed check, flaps 1. Autopilot in command. Autopilot in command. Slap plus 10, speed check, flap 0. Okay, let us switch to Unicom. We're on Unicom, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna hit direct Akoni. There it is, calculated direct Akoni. Push that, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue our climb to flight level 340, final altitude. There it goes. After takeoff checklist, flaps up, gear up, auto brake off, spoilers off. Checklist complete. I must really say the visuals are just stunning. The way that they have fixed the colors of the sky is just like, this is how it almost looks. It's so convincing. I really like it. Flight level, actually 6,500 for 340. Check. Okay, approaching 10,000 feet. Just getting ready. Wing light off, landing light off, nose light back to off, taxiway turn off, runway turn off light off. Checklist complete. Okay, 10,000 feet, starting acceleration, making the 10,000 foot call there. And this is usually where the 10,000 foot announcement would go out. As many of you would know, this is the part where they start offering you the platinum or the sapphire or whatever card they have to offer on the airlines. I know one particular airline really goes hard on the advertising game, much to the chagrin of a few of the cabin crew. I used to joke with one of my colleagues about this every time that we would go on personal flying. We would make jokes about it, so he would always dreadfully roll his eyes and remind me that he's not flying for work, right? So I thought it was always a fun thing, but we'll see. Well, passing 11,000 feet right here, and still working on the climb. Looking good. Okay, passing transition level. Barometer, altimeter setting standard. So before we close the broadcast, for anybody that is watching, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a trivia of sorts, if we could call it that, and ask a particular question about the Airbus A330, and this is the little trivia. The Airbus A330 shares something with the Boeing 777-200 LR, and it's something in its characteristics when it comes to measurements. If you can tell me which two parts happen to be the same measurement on the airplane, you don't get anything, but still it would be a very good exercise for you to do some research on the airplane. But what I will say though, for those who are wondering, the wing on the Airbus A330neo is a modified design of the original wing, and it has an aspect ratio of 11. So it's actually one of class leading wing design on its category. That's the kind of aspect ratio they were able to squeeze almost an 11 out of it. But the wing, believe it or not, is actually a modified version of the original Airbus A330 wing, and the reason for that is because when the Airbus A330 wing was designed, it was a concurrent design with the Airbus A340. So Airbus had to find a way to optimize the wing to be able to accommodate for 4 engines. So they had to make some structural modifications to that wing. And then, of course, that added weight changed the shape of the wing to an extent. So the Airbus A330, so like the A340, they actually kind of lost a little bit of performance because the wings weren't quite optimized for each of their designs. It was more like a wing that could do the job for both to an extent. So when the new A330neo came out, Airbus made some modifications. They changed the aspect ratio of the wing a little bit. They changed, and with that, the shape of the wing, and they got the aspect ratio of 11. But believe it or not, because the A330neo wing was designed for the A330neo fuselage, what Airbus claims is that they have been able to reduce the overall weight of the wing and also optimize the shape of the wing to be a little bit more friendly for the Airbus A330, and hence get the efficiency gains of that. So much so that on the most recent version of the Airbus A330-900, the 900 251T, which is the 251 metric ton version, I believe. I think it's metric tons, but the 251 tons version of the airplane actually has a maximum range at 7,200 nautical miles, which puts it a few hundred, about 300 nautical miles short from the 787-9, and this is what makes the Airbus A330neo such a interesting case of an airplane that was designed to just get as close as to the competition as they could, but with lower capital costs, and that's the value proposition of this airplane. Not a complete new design for it, but nonetheless close enough for them to for somebody to actually buy the airplane and get almost as good performance as a Dreamliner, but in a cheaper airplane. So that is kind of the information nugget that I have for today for you guys. But yeah, the trivia again is, if you could tell me in terms of dimensions which two parts of the Airbus A330-900neo are the same length, you don't get to win anything. You just get to study and research and know a little bit more about the airplane. So that's the homework. So with this, I'm gonna finish the broadcast. I will go back live once we start our descent on the Wrights to arrival at Orlando, and see if I can improve my landing rate on the Airbus A330neo. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you fairly soon.